It's gonna be like 73 to 75 degrees today. Yeah.
Doesn't look like it's going up very fast.
Steve's on his way. Okay.
It is now.
Hi, Mitch.
Good morning.
Your hip still hurting you? Is your hip still hurting you? Okay.
It's not the hip that bothers me, it's the lower back.
Gotcha. Hi,
And
Steve.
the doctor said I was getting a heterotopic bone formation. So the body's laying down calcium in that hip area. I don't know if it's the muscle, the tendon, ligaments, but
Doesn't sound good.
maybe I shouldn't have been so stubborn all those years ago, Brett.
Yeah. It always comes back to haunt us. How are you? Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you guys? Pretty
Good, how
good.
are
Good to
you?
see you, Roger. You're back. You're back. All right. I'll get started here. Got the latest on some of our expenses. That out to you. Looked into contracting diesel, but it wasn't gonna really, at this time, wasn't gonna save us a whole lot. I don't remember the numbers, but it was actually more at the time to contract than it would have been to get a tanker in. But we'll revisit it again here soon, see how it's looking. And the tarp, we did get a reimbursement on K-Camp for that for 2,000. At the bottom from Wilkins Truck and Trailer. And the trailer is gonna be here today. By noon, I think.
Oh, good.
And we're hauling one of the two that we're trading in down there today too. So we got-
You're hauling that?
Yeah, and then they're gonna backhaul the old lowboy and the '84 Freightliner. So, backhaul that. So, if there's any other questions, move along.
What do you get from Schaefer's?
That's gonna be a fuel treatment and probably grease on that.
Comes direct
Just
from
ca-
Schaefer's?
Well, through,
Eddie?
Eddie, yeah.
Okay.
Next item I wanted to touch on was, would like to purchase, restock our culverts. I did seek out several quotes. J&J Drainage Products came in at $10,371. The next closest was from Wellborn Sales, and that was at $13,394. And what we were looking to get was 4 18-inch by 40-foot. These are all galvanized culverts. One 24-inch by 40, one 24 by 10 culvert to do. We'd have some locations that we're gonna need to have an extension. And then also one 30 by 40 and a one 30 by 10. And we were gonna pick up another 3-foot culvert, 36 by 40, and then one 72 by 50 to have on hand. And these prices have come down considerably. A year ago, the quote was considerably higher. I think it's basically the same quote, or essentially the same quote, close to it. It was up over $16,000, I believe, so the prices have come down
This
a
is
little bit.
10,000?
Pardon?
10,000?
This one here is 10,371, yeah. This is really just a restock, but we do have several locations that we're gonna either need to, redo the culvert, some that are damaged. So we will need, restock at some time, so I was hoping to do that soon.
Okay. So you need a motion on buying the court?
If we could, please.
That's J&J.
Motion we buy a culvert from J&J for $10,371.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to purchase the culverts from J&J. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed?
You said you bought some little extensions?
Or that's also included in the quote,
Yeah, I know, but it just
like a 10-foot
It
piece.
go
Where,
along with the band.
but right, yeah, corrugated band. Oh, and I'm sorry, yeah, and those were included also, the dimple bands. There's, that 124, 130, and then two 18-inch bands.
Can I see that, Steve?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I was eight.
Next item, needed to purchase would be a, replacement belt for our chip spreader that we use for chip sealing. That belt, I believe, is original. I can't tell you what the year on that chip spreader is, but it's old. It's cracked, flaking off, and we'd rather get that replaced before we get into the project. In fact, if we do get the approval to purchase this new belt, we'll probably just put that on right at the get-go. We don't want to have any downtime, assuming we'll get
Yeah,
to
it
chips
could be
ready,
done
hopefully
in-house.
this summer.
It could be done in-house.
Yeah, to install it?
Yeah.
Yes, we'll install it. It'll take a little time, but we'll install it. Dokes out of McCook, really about the only place I could find one. And to replace this belt would be $1,869.18. And we did have a quote from him last summer. We were considering getting it replaced, and it was a little more expensive then. It came down a little bit.
Okay.
We're doing some work on the chip spreader. We had some mechanical issues there toward the end of the project last summer, but what I understand, the repair shouldn't be too difficult, and it should be up and going.
Make a motion, we purchase the belt from Dokes. Is that right?
Yes, DOAKS.
$1,869.18.
And I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to purchase the chip spreader belt from J&J for $10,371 out of McCook. All in,
No. Is it 1861?
1,800.
I read the wrong number. That's J&J. $1,869.18.
Yeah, sorry, I was going on to the next thing. I wasn't listening to you.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Well, actually, this is related to the belt here. Just been working on estimates for our chip seal project. Was hoping to do 4.75 miles this summer. That would include the South River Road, the whole length of the oil. Lorraine from 36 down to the Wheeler Road. And then Road 15, the same, going north off of 36. And then the Cemetery Road. And that would be approximately 1,000 tons of material. I would really prefer to use the 1/2-inch lightweight material. It's a little more expensive. With oil and estimated freight, I've got to get some firm numbers on that. And the chip material would be roughly $155,000. If we went with 3/8 sand seal, and we would probably do most of the hauling like we did last summer out of Trenton, that would come to $140,000. So there's a $15,000 difference roughly. We do get a federal fund exchange that we can apply to this, and that'd be $45,000, well, $45,179 is the amount.
Doesn't
So that
matter
would-
if we go with the 1/2 or 3/8 on that.
Well, we had a little trouble with the 3/8 sand seal. Kind of hard to explain, but the fines were getting, coming down off the top of the belt and getting down into a big plate that protects the motor, and it would pack in there, and literally, you couldn't get maybe half a mile, and the belt would start to spin, the rollers would, so you run the risk of, it's not working, obviously, you're not able to, if your belt's not turning, then you're not spreading material. And we did not have that problem at all with the half-inch chip. And it does, according to Steve Marshall with Kibitco, you actually end up using a little less oil, apparently, going with the half-inch chip. So there's again, it's a little more and I'll back up, and the half-inch chip is generally more durable and lasts a little longer as far as the road surface. And this would be the lightweight, which is a little less prone to chipping windows too.
What does that come out of?
There's several locations, and they're mostly, or a couple, I should say, for the lightweight material, and that's out of Fort Collins, I believe. And that's where the freight is
So
kind of the
this doesn't
killer.
include freight,
This would be an estimate on the freight,
estimate.
yeah.
So we're looking at about 110,000 if it goes right.
If it went right,
We
got the
roughly, yeah,
grinder,
when you
whatever.
figure in the federal fund exchange, it would be a little over 110.
I feel like your budget will, well,
Well, it would come out of the special road fund, which I believe is around 1.3. A little above that right now.
some of those roads are breaking up
Yeah, it's
out here and out there both.
Cemetery Road
I
and
haven't been
South
out there
River
to see
Road.
the
It's got some-
cemetery road. Is it pretty bad? I think you were saying.
Down in that one bottom right in there, I don't know what the place there.
It's just a
Moisture
low
just-
spot, moisture collection, water collection,
Would that be by Kenny Richards?
freeze-thaw,
place?
broke it up.
Okay.
But we're hoping to utilize some of the cold patch material. We got to either wait for it to warm up. I would like to maybe try to grind it up and use it if the city, and we may need to go in with the city to get some more cold patch too.
If we went
We'll
with
do our
the,
repairs before we do our chip seal.
if we were to go with the half inch, which is $15,000 more, are we gonna make up that difference by not using that much tar or oil?
It cuts into it a little bit. It brings it down. I'd like to visit with Steve Marshall, the rep with Kibitco, our supplier, and visit with him a little bit more about that so I could better explain what he was.
But what
Getting
you're
at.
saying though, with going with the half inches, it helps the machine
You get better, right, you less
downtime.
hiccups, if you will, while we're running. And it's a more durable road,
Better service.
more durable road surface generally. It'll last probably roughly 2 years longer than maybe a sand seal would. You're looking at 2 to 3 with a sand seal generally, and then hopefully upwards of 4 to 5 on a chip.
So you had said Road 15, Lorraine, to the Wheeler Road and the River Road, right?
South River Road,
Okay,
going off of Highway 36
Okay.
to the end of the oil, which, at Road 11.
okay.
And then Lorraine going
Okay.
north off of 36.
I just wanna make sure I had
Yep.
that right. Okay.
And then Road 15 going north off of 36 to the Wheeler Road, and then the Cemetery Road.
Okay.
Which is, I think, about 8/10, 9/10 of a mile.
Okay.
Yeah, the total came to about 4.75 miles.
That, the one is through Wheeler there,
Going out to Wheeler.
going out to Wheeler.
Yeah, we had done that one last summer. So these are crossroads coming from Highway 36 up to the Wheeler Road, both Lorraine and 15. But that's just kind of an update where we're at. I'll try to get a little more information to you in the next meeting and see where we can go from there. Okay, and then there's, bouncing a little bit on you, back to the culverts, and this would be for the repairs up on the off-system Bridge 50 that failed. Did get some price quotes. What I'd prefer to go with is what they call an arch pipe culvert. And it's 117 inches wide, or the span as they call it, and a 79-inch rise. And the reason for the arch culvert is we're trying to get as much water to go through as we can without having to elevate the road a whole lot. We'll have to elevate it a little bit with this, but probably only a foot, foot and a half. As far as,
What's the culvert price on that?
The lowest that came in was from Wellborn, and that was at $11,869 for a 44-foot, 10-gauge, one-piece culvert.
And since we're gonna do the other stuff with J&J, they didn't have that?
They had to go to a different, so that's why it's a different quote. They were having to get that from a different supplier, different manufacturer. And J&J actually came in considerably more on that culvert. I'm not exactly sure why. It's probably because they had to go to a different source. That was at $19,949.
And how much was Wellborn's? I didn't catch that.
What I was quoted was $11,869 for
Okay.
a
So
arch
how-
pipe culvert
Okay.
of 117 by 79. That's 44 feet long. And that would be kind of the minimum length. Going with that, I'd rather get a one piece, and not have to band it. Preferably.
What's an arch pipe?
Oh shoot.
Is it a flat bottom?
It's
Yeah,
not
arch
completely
culvert.
flat. That's why there's arch culverts, which would have more of a flat bottom. Then there's arched pipe, which is gonna have just a gentle curve to it and then come up.
Okay.
So that if you laid it on the ground flat, you're gonna have a little bit of a space there. And that's one of the tricks with installing this. You gotta make sure you do even packing as you're setting it, and have a bed there too to set it on. I mean, they're just a little different maybe than putting in I shouldn't say, it's not that different than putting in a round culvert. You still need to pack underneath the round. It's either one.
So it's the same volume, it's just for,
It'd be and to go on with this, there is another option, and that is going with 8-foot culverts. That actually was the first recommendation from Jordan with Penco. But that was just kind of a cheaper way to go, and also there are used 8-foot culverts. They're 25 foot in length, so they do two-piece. And that's the outfit out of Atwood, Chihoy Earth Moving. They were in on a project east of there where they have, I think, 15 of these culverts lightly used for a KDOT project. And I would like to look into purchasing some of those just to have on hand, because these are a pretty good price. They're $4,000 a piece. So to get a full 50-foot piece, you're looking at $8,000, and that'd be almost half of what buying new would cost for 8-foot culverts. And there's something that we could use down the road, just have them there for stockpile. We could use them up at Road BB on off 50, but then you're talking, you've got 96 inch. You've got an 8-foot culvert as opposed to 79 inches, and you've got to get enough dirt over that pipe. You're gonna be raising the road quite a bit through there. I just prefer not to disturb as much or as little as possible up there on that road. That's hilly country and a lot of gopher dirt, so. And then plus, that's the other thing back to this. This size that we're looking at is the equivalent of the 8.5-foot round pipe. So it actually would carry a little more water than just the regular 8-foot round. So you're gaining a little bit of flow, allowable flow through there.
Right.
And it comes out with the 8-foot culvert, it's about a 1 in 25-year event that it'll handle. Going with the arched pipe culvert might gain you a few years, 1 in 27 or 8, almost 30-year event.
which one do we want to go with?
Well, this is the one he's talking about.
ought to get
Wellborn,
rid by.
117.
Well, unfortunately,
That
I mean, it could
That
happen.
one's it, right here, but I wrote it out.
In a week.
Wellborn, 117 by 79 for 11,869 that's the one he's talking
No,
about, arch.
okay, no, but he was
Or it could
talking
happen
about
in
the
30
first
years,
one,
so.
100,000,
I
111.
apologize, but I'm supposed to be at the hospital to have a monitor
Deal
put
with that
on
one
at 10
afterwards?
o'clock.
Yeah,
Okay,
I better go.
We never did make a motion on it.
You'll get along
No, because
without
he's
me.
gonna check into it more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Chew their ass.
So we want to go with the 11,869?
Yeah, Roger, you okay with going with that arch culvert then?
Yes.
Okay, so,
Okay, I'll make a motion, we go with the 11,869, is that what
from
it is?
Wellborn?
Wellborn,
Okay.
Wellborn.
see you, bud. Good luck. I would second that. It's been moved and seconded to go with Wellborn for $11,869. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Okay. And you're gonna check on the half with, the half inch versus 3/8. You're gonna check with Steve Marshall on that before you get back to us.
Correct, yeah, on,
So we don't need a motion.
for the
on
chip
that.
sealing, no, that was just a kind of an update, that's a big project and
Okay.
big expense, and
Okay,
just wanted to touch on that just a little bit. I think they're gonna have those 8-foot, back to the used pipe.
Used ones?
Yeah, they'll probably have those for a little while, so we could wait until
Revisit
next
that.
meeting and then see about, and they would deliver too, that was the other thing I
Okay.
didn't get in there at the end was,
like, how long would you wanna wait on that?
probably next meeting we'd wanna, I spoke with them and said we'd probably like to have them hang on to, I would like to get 4 of them if I could.
Is that something we could get the money back if we get a grant for a culvert or a bridge? We've got them on hand, but we can recoup that money down the road.
Possibly, or when we go to do a bridge replacement and we, that's one of the options is put a
culvert
couple of
in,
different bridges where we could, whichever one we choose, remove and put a culvert in.
Okay.
The only challenge with this would be that size and putting a band on that to splice 2 of those together.
Tricky?
I'd like to look into that a little more. They didn't really have an answer for me on what exactly the band was. Like, there's several different kinds of bands to, lock them together. Probably the best band would be a corrugated angle
To kind of,
and a big wide piece of corrugation that
okay.
locks them in, but they weren't sure exactly what that was.
Okay.
And I'd like to find out on that. I'll see if I can gather any more information on that and get that back to you next meeting. And that's all I had
Okay.
for today.
I'll probably have you stick around while we go to Mitchell then.
Sure.
Okay. Are you ready, Mitch?
Yep.
Okay. You have the floor, buddy.
Okay, on March 10th, I went to town sometime late morning, and the maintainer just been out on a road, and he left a lot of slough and debris on top of the middle of the road, various places. And I'm like, okay, God, it's rough, and we'll see what happens here. I came back that afternoon, it was still rough as rough could be. I was livid that it's Friday, and it's Friday afternoon, and the chances of the county coming back out here to do something Friday afternoon, it's gonna be a joke. So I contacted somebody, they gave me Steve Wilhelm's phone number, called him up, ripped into him, not for the quality of the job, but for the timing of it, because if they don't get out here and get this fixed, it's gonna be rough as can be for the 11th and the 12th. And then finally on the 13th, and I contacted Commissioner Poling, sent him various pictures of what the road was and asked him to come out and drive the road at just normal speeds. Places you could do it, places, no. You're gonna slow down to 40 to 45, if not more. Because it's gonna be a safety issue, leaving it sit over the weekend. But then on the 13th, I'll say the maintainer started sometime at 11 or later and was done by 3. And some other guys have been over the road, they didn't like the feel of it. I thought it was better than what it was, but I just can't believe somebody would do road work on a Friday and leave it sit until Saturday, rather than go back to it and do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so that people don't have to fight the roads. Because I know work always has to be done on the roads, but the timing of it is what just irked me to no end to let it set for 2 days for
Okay.
people to drive on.
So we will address the timing on this stuff from here on out, I guess. That'd probably be the best answer we could give you on that. Did you have anything else, Mitchell?
That was it.
Okay. And if it's something like that ever happens, you want caution signs up was another thing you had
It probably
said.
wouldn't have been a bad idea if you're gonna let,
Road
if
work,
something
yeah.
has to sit over the weekend. You know, it was just a rude surprise to come back that afternoon and go, they still haven't fixed it yet.
Right.
Knowing that our county works 5 days a week, but when it comes, 3 in the afternoon, They're hightailing it back to they're taking the equipment back to the work sites or the places where they park them, and then they're heading back to town and be in town by 5 and be home.
Okay.
And we're still driving on the roads for the next 2 days. And Steve said he hoped they would be out by the beginning of the week. And they were.
Good.
But I lit up a couple people because I was so upset with the timing and not having it fixed and worked on in a timely manner. If the maintainer would have went down and back the same day, it's gonna be done.
Okay. We will address that on the timing. If you have something else, let me know.
No, thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
You good, Steve?
Yep.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, I'm gonna stick around for another one.
All right.
It's the first time I've ever been.
It's like a soap
here.
opera, right?
Well, everybody says you
Thanks.
should attend one commissioner's meeting sometime. So,
All right.
see what happens.
Ryan, you're up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Several things this morning. First off, for EMS, on our vehicle inspections that we had, the Response 1 unit needs some work done on the PTU. I did get 3 quotes.
You said response 1?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the police interceptor that's housed over in Burke City.
Okay.
That we got used from the sheriff's office. The high quote is from Yoast, and then we have a low one from Finkelman, and then middle of the road is Dan Brenner and Goodwin. So. And I believe they're roughly 27, 25, and 23.
Where's the price on this one?
Oh, sorry, it's kind of cut off, but $2,391.51.
Oh, okay, I didn't,
Do you
oh, I
have,
didn't look down there.
you guys have that in your budget, of course, correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
And who do you think we ought to go with?
I'll leave that up to you guys as far as.
Okay.
Well, they're all licensed, so probably want to choose the cheapest one if we, yeah.
391, and this is,
Yoast does the majority of our work, so. And they're the ones that did the inspections.
where's the other one? Well, I kind of think we ought to stay within the county, but. And
Your
then
thoughts?
they are, Yoast is doing ours.
They've done all our other
It's
stuff.
only,
Okay.
what, 200 more?
Gets about 300.
300, wow.
Yeah. What I like about Yoast is they've got everything listed out. It kind of spooks me on the Davini. You've just got one line to do everything. So I'm
Plus
fine.
you'd have to get it there on the
Yeah, in
roads.
Binkelman. It is in Binkelman, right?
It's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, I would make a motion that we go with Yost Ford for the sum of $2,748.02.
All right, I would second that. It's been moved and seconded to have the response 1, have the work done at Yoast. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, aye. I didn't oppose it.
Yeah, no,
Are you nervous?
Sometimes, no, it's just,
do you need those, Scott?
Yes, please.
I get going too fast. You know that about me, Mitch. You know, he used to knock me off my own trampoline as a little kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I did want to mention that we, for 2023, Cheyenne County EMS got chose to do the cost reporting. It's mandatory through Medicare. They choose.
The
so many-
what?
It's cost reporting. So they choose so many services every year. It's on a 3-year cycle. So 2023 is when we got drawn to do our cost reporting. So we've got into the portal. We got all the stuff that we need to do, and so now it's for throughout 2023, we have to keep track of all of our costs. Personnel costs, supply costs, vehicle maintenance costs, everything, for the entire year. And then in January 2024, I believe it's before May is the deadline, but then we will have to go into the portal and input all of this data in there and report out all of our expenses. What it's doing is they're trying to see if our reimbursements are matching our costs, which we know they're not. So, but it's just a requirement, and so it's just a lot of extra legwork this year that we're working through. But we have processes in place to do that, and then with Dawn in the treasurer's office, that we've got different line items and revenue streams set up so we can better track all that. So to report that out. So I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. Some exciting news. We have secured an IC instructor coordinator to have a new EMT class here in Cheyenne County. That'll be Justin Stacer, if you guys approve this. It'll be Justin Stacer out of Goodland. We have 6 instructors lined up. The ratio for the class by the state is you have to have 1 instructor per 6 students. So right now, we currently have 12 people interested in the class. That's
Four?
without 12.
12.
So we'll have to have 2 instructors.
Right, that's without advertising or anything, so our goal is potentially 18, and so if we get 18, we'd have to have 3 instructors per night, but with 6, they could rotate to every other week. So,
How many EMTs do you think we're short?
You're always short.
you're always short.
Yeah, I know, but,
Well, so like right now, for example, in St. Francis, due to some other issues and people being out for different reasons, we're down to 2 techs in St. Francis. So,
okay,
2 of those will be coming back, they're out temporarily.
yeah.
But our overall roster right now, we're sitting at about 11 to 12 total. But like I said, some of them can't run often due to other obligations, so.
Do you have any idea who you would get as the other IC instructors? I mean,
So
If you-
Justin would be, he is certified instructor for
Then
the
he-
state. And so then our instructors, we have 4 from here, and an additional instructor from Sherman County, and then Justin.
okay.
So we have 4 of our own. Now, how this works is for the class, the expense per student, which will be about, the high end is about $2,100 per student for their books and everything. Then that is paid to the instructor coordinator, and the instructor coordinator pays out all of the instructors in that, so we won't be paying those. And then we do an EIG grant that is about $1,150 per student, so that takes about half the expense.
And who accepts the applicants? Yourself and Jill, or?
Yes. So for the class, it's open to anyone who wants to take the class.
Okay.
And then, once they become certified, then there's a hiring process to actually come on to EMS, if that makes sense, so. And there's, I mean, some of that's out of our control, so you have to pass background checks and all that, and so if
Yeah.
somebody doesn't pass a background check, there's not anything we can do about that.
So we need a motion to.
So the
get
class would
Justin-
actually start August 9th. We chose that, it'll be every Wednesday night for about 4 months. We chose the 9th so that we can get past the first week of August, which is fair.
Yeah.
And so it'll end on December 6th. And then the skills testing will actually be done, the state will come out here to our office building up there. So the skills testing will be done here on site. And then the tech college in Goodland is now set up to be a board testing site. So everyone can go set for their boards in Goodland.
Didn't
instead
you
of
used to have to go
going-
to Garden City for that?
McCook
Okay.
has a location right now, so.
How much is that one then?
It didn't really.
So basically, I need, I guess today I need a motion to go ahead and submit the syllabus and everything for the class, to go ahead with the class to get it approved with the state to allow us to have a class. The expense of the class, I can't really tell you today because it's gonna depend on how many sign up, if that makes
Okay,
sense.
so if I'll make the motion to go ahead and, what would be, apply for the,
Yeah, so we submit all the paperwork into the state to approve having the class starting in August, and then once that's approved, then we can have people start signing up.
Okay, I'll make that motion to do
Okay.
that.
And we don't need Justin Stacer's name in there at all? For the motion?
I mean, he's on the paperwork that we'll be submitting to
Okay.
the state for the class.
All
I
right.
guess today I just need a motion, if you guys are good with it, to go ahead and move forward with having the class here.
All right.
I'll
And
make that motion.
I'd second that motion. It's been moved and seconded for the IC class to
The
start. checking.
EMTB, basic E
EMTB,
EMTB.
okay.
class.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
And just for clarification, that would be a class to get new additional techs
Right.
on. Whereas
Right.
the A class was people we already had. So
Right.
That would be really good.
the county emergency operations plans, we are working to get those up to the new standards that the state has put out. As a region, we're meeting monthly right now to go through all of that. That has been a big help because all the counties together, we're kind of all the same size and similar, so sharing ideas and that as we work through that process, that's been really helpful. I will be traveling to Colby, March 16th tomorrow, for that, and then the state is coming out to Hayes April 13th, for the next one. And then we're having a regional tabletop for recovery, which is fairly new for counties. The state has a new recovery plan for an after disaster, how you recover from it, how do you get back to the way you were before.
I do.
And then as part of that, we'll be having local recovery plans too. And so there's a group from Cheyenne County, it'll be Don, Eric, myself, Jill, I'm missing, Scott, possibly, and then we'll be going, and Kelly Milliken, we'll be going to Oakley for that. And that is March 23rd. The state will only allow us to take 6 people, so. And then Jill she's agreed to go to Hayes on March 30th. That is the state is coming out. It's mandatory that somebody from our service goes for the new reporting. And so all of our runs and everything are reported to the state for their review. And this is the training of the new software to report all of that stuff. So she'll be going to Hayes on March 30th. So just to let you guys know our travel plans the next couple of months.
I know you're pretty busy.
Yeah. Otherwise, that's all I have. Unless you have questions for me.
No, I'm good.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yep. Thank you guys.
I've got to run downstairs real fast.
What's that?
I've got to run downstairs.
Okay. We'll take a quick,
Have a good day, guys.
see you. We'll be right back.